Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast started by Closers.io, where we explore the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Milan Kohut, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced, the lessons learned, and the strategies fueling future growth. Today, I'm absolutely thrilled to be joined by Jody Burrow-Meddy, the founder of Wave of Wisdom Coaching, specializing in parent coaching to help families navigate challenges with clarity and resilience. Her approach focuses on guiding parents through real-life transitions like emotional ups and downs in family dynamics, using practical tools and inner reflection to build self-trust and stronger connections at home. With that being said, Jody, let me officially welcome you to Founders Future.
Thank you so much for having me here today. I really appreciate it.
It's great to have you. We're going to jump right into it. What I love to do with every single one of my guests is a bit of traveling back in time. So before you even had this company, what were you doing before? And then eventually, what was the motivation for starting the business?
Sure. So I've been in education for over 30 years. I started out as an elementary classroom teacher. I taught fifth grade for about 10 years, and then I went down to second grade and realized that was just way too young for me. And then I became a school counselor for the past 16 years. So I have over 30 years experience, most of it spent with teenagers. And I got into education because I felt the need to make a difference. I'm a person who always loved to hear a story, hear kids, and make a difference. So I was started out in the classroom, and eventually I knew I always wanted to be a school counselor. So I got my master's in counseling over way back when, I would say almost 20 years ago. And then for the past 16, that's what I've been doing at a middle school, currently with students of 6th, 7th, and 8th grade.
Beautiful. Now, when it comes to the pivotal moment that really inspired you, and you must have had the conversation with yourself, just being like, okay, Jody, you got to do something on your own. There's something more for you. What was the moment for you?
Honestly, for years and years, I always said, I want to do something. I want to do something. Obviously, being in this field so long, I'm getting closer to retirement. And I'm at the point where I am young still, but I want more. So I felt like I came into education loving the students, and it's really changed in my district and overall social media growth and all of that. And I felt like I needed to do something and continue this journey with kids, but also parents. So there was a moment about a year ago. I kept saying, I'm going to do something. I got to do something. What could I do? I have a lot of ambition, but I don't have a talent. And honestly, I kept saying, I really just don't have a talent. And I'm sitting there, and I went to a workshop for counselors, and it was on parent coaching. And I'm like, oh my God, this is it. I'm like, this is what I'm going to do. I'm like,
Mhm.
I came into education loving kids. I'm like, and I see the changes, I see all the challenges. I feel like I have this perspective of both sides. Talk to teenagers, and then I talk to parents as well. So I have the advantage of having both sides and seeing it for so many years. So all of a sudden, I decided last March, Wave of Wisdom was going to be something that I'm going to work on, and I'm going to continue to grow. So it is a new parent coaching business that I have just started up, and I'm really excited about it. And I'm excited to taking it into the next chapter of life.
Beautiful. I love the journey. Thank you for sharing that with us. Now, let's talk about where this journey got you and what the business really looks like today. In this part of the podcast, my goal is really get our audience close to, first of all, who is it exactly that you're trying to help right now? But also, what is that core offer that you have in place for your clients? So, what is the journey like for them? What are the different stages? What is the frequency of working with you? Just tell us all about it.
Yes, I love that. So it's really unique. I think each case is unique because I focus on communication. I feel like communication is the foundation to any relationship. So my target audience are parents of teenagers and young adults. Being in middle school for so many years and seeing the struggles and talking to so many parents, I feel like the connection is lost there. Or I should say, not necessarily lost, but sometimes they struggle. So as a coach, my take on it is, first of all, we have to be a good fit. And secondly, I want to work with a parent who wants to make a difference. I work with many parents, and some of them are really open to working with me as a counselor, and some parents really don't have the time. I see that today parents have so much on their plate. They're
Mhm.
juggling working full time, they're juggling multiple kids, there's sports, there's athletics, there's clubs, there's colleges, there's so much going on. There's taking care of a home and all of their different relationships. Parents wear so many hats. And I feel like this part of my journey, I want to focus on a parent that's really looking to grow within themselves and take a deeper look at themselves and their parenting styles and building a stronger connection with their child. When I say child, teen is where I'm focusing, anywhere from middle school ages up into young adults and early into college. I have 3 kids of my own, so I feel like a little experience there helps. I have a 21-year-old daughter and I have twin boys that are 18. They're athletes. I've navigated that experience a little bit. I feel like I have a lot to offer some parents who are willing to work and take a look in the mirror and want a healthier, stronger relationship.
I love that because I feel like when it comes to communication, as you mentioned it a couple of minutes ago, there is a big difference between having the ability to communicate and do it effectively, which goes both for listening as well. And yeah, this is definitely the type of stuff that you really need to not only look at a surface level, but dive deeper. And you also mentioned holding that mirror up, right?
Yeah,
Which is beautiful to think about because most of the time, I would say it is a reflection of ourselves, the way we
sure.
communicate. Isn't that the case?
Sure. And off the bat, right away, as a parent myself, right away, your teenager rolls their eyes, they slam their door, they get defensive. And as a
Mhm.
parent, instinctively, you just want to yell back, you want to get back. I'm here to teach and keep that calm. My greatest thing is having tools in your toolbox. I tell students this and I tell parents this. So what you're looking to do is have the right tool at the right moment. So you might need a screwdriver at one point in life, or you might need a hammer. So it's the same way when you're dealing with parenting. You might need to keep your calm. You might need to push your kid a little and have them thrive. You just have to be steady, consistent, and show up. And that's really
Yeah.
I want to help with and tell my parents, just show up.
And
Even
be ready for all types of situations.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Even when your teen is pushing you away, so many times I have seen parents talking and thinking no one's listening. And later a situation will arise and it'll come back and it's, wow, they heard me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, they did. They took it in. You think sometimes that you're not there or they're not there. They're not being present. They're on their video games, their social media. There's so much outside noise today to really have that conversation, to listen. As parents, I have seen a change in 10 years where they just want to jump in and fix everything. And they're not wrong for that. But also, I have seen that these teenagers don't have coping skills. They don't have the coping skills to figure it out because they're getting saved. Sometimes it's really hard to step back as a parent and let your teen fall and just be there to support them, not to fix it.
Absolutely. 100% agreed. Now, Jody, when it comes to this client journey, also one thing that I would love to clarify is how did you structure this? Is it basically like a very specific curriculum of topics and modules that you go over with your clients, and maybe it takes 6 months or 3 months, or how does that really work?
So I offer many different packages. And the way I started out by saying it's very unique, everyone's situation is different. So I meet with a free discovery call, 15 to 20 minutes to get to know if I'm the right person or the fit for a parent. So it doesn't have to just be that I think they're a right fit. It has to be both ways. They have to
Mhm.
and trust in me and believe in my parenting styles and my advice. And I need to see what they're looking for, the change they want to happen, the time frame. Very often, I think I've been talking to some parents, so I take them through a discovery call and we'll discuss their individual goals. I'll talk about their time frame. I'll talk about how much they're willing to put in, how much reflection are they willing to do. And then we go from there. I have different packages where we could meet weekly, we can meet bi-weekly. It all depends on the situation. It's really hard to just say, oh, here we are, we're going to meet for 6 months. Something might not take that long, or something might take longer. So we might want to start
Yeah.
with weekly session. We might want to meet that way. And then we might grow to saying, okay, so we got this under control. Let's do it that way. I'm also going to expand as I do have more time to set up and do group workshops. So I might choose a topic such as social media and skills, or putting some tools in your toolbox for communication. And I might open that up and start holding some group workshops for parents to sign up to build it as well.
Beautiful.
There's a
Now,
lot of variation.
Jody, yeah, absolutely. It's quite clear based on what you share with us that when it comes to this, there's a lot of personalization and customization that goes into it, which is lovely to see because you really have to meet that person where they're at, right? I love to see that. Now, when it comes to the back end side of the business and really making this all happen, with projects like this, you really need to make sure that you have a good client acquisition system in place. I'm curious, what is happening on the front of marketing for you, or maybe specifically generating those contacts and leads for yourself to have the ability to get in front of the right parents and have the ability to onboard them into these programs and impact their lives?
Yeah, definitely. It's been a challenge. And the reason I think it is a challenge is, first of all, I'm still full time working. So I'm spending a lot of time doing this on the side. I have, as I said, 18-year-old seniors who are athletes, and I'm very busy being a mom because that's my first priority, to show up for them. So this is definitely something that I'm going to expand as the time goes. My journey right now is to build trust, to build an audience, and for them to trust me. So what I'm doing right now is using YouTube as some short videos just to give some small skills, 8 to 12 minute videos. I set up some playlists and I'll dive deeper into some topics that I think are needed. I'll take some surveys. I get some feedback from some parents I'm working with and out there. And as well, what I'll do is I'll do some short clips and reels on Instagram just to stay steady and consistent. Sometimes that small, simple thing hits home, and send it to a friend, and you build a connection without even knowing it. So I feel like the background audience is being built in my trust, in my honesty, and being upfront. So I'm trying to build
Yeah.
that clientele based on trust and being real. I think today there's so many coaches out there, and they're promising to sell you videotapes and programs and downloadables. And I'm here to be real, and I want to meet just like we are. I meet with them one on one. I want to take your unique situation and I want to help you dive deeper into it and find some solutions. So it's
And,
hard
and I
to.
feel like initially, especially, it's really important for you to have the ability to connect with the audience, right? To generate a ton of content, keep talking about those topics so that those people really see who you are, what you stand for, what is the methodology that you're bringing to the table. So I love to see that. Now, also, what I want to talk about is something a little bit different, right? I get to meet with dozens of companies every single week. So I'm used to talking to people who are already in the business full time. There is a lot of operation going on, but this is not an easy position where you find yourself in right now. Still being a full-time counselor, having that career, but also building this on the side. So I'm curious about what is the thought process in terms of what is the best timing for me to take the next step, maybe step into the business full time. How are you thinking about those things?
So there are challenges, like you said, they definitely are. The flexibility of being able to set things up like this at certain times, and I have a lot of flexibility. Although I work 12 months, I have summers that are a little slower being in a school and stuff at this point. I do look into pretty much probably retiring within the next year and a half, not even. So at this point, I'm dedicating more time. This whole summer, my plan is to do some launches. I'm trying to gear up for 2026 and really build a stronger clientele and do some offerings where I hit a lot of one-on-ones. I've been
Mhm.
speaking to a lot. I've been doing some group sessions. I've been doing some building. I've also visited some libraries and just reach out to parents in local communities, and I get involved that way. So I'm looking to expand it to a broader so I can take this with me, as I said, for the next journey, the next chapter.
Sure. Now, making all of this happen, dedicating your time to conferences, speaking at events, but also generating content, staying engaged with the audience, going through the process of communicating with your leads, converting them into clients, there's just a lot that goes
A
into it. So
lot.
I'm also curious, like, how big is the vision though? Are you eventually trying to build your teams for this, whether that's marketing, sales department, whatever that might be? Or would you rather create something smaller and more sustainable that you can just take care of it yourself and basically run a one-woman show? What is the idea?
So I'm going to go with at this point, I'd like it to be really personalized. I feel like it's personalized. The personalization of the one man show right now, but I would love to have a broader audience where I do get some help with the editing, the social media aspect as the business grows. I intend on seeing this through all the way. And I intend on making Wave of Wisdom parent coaching grow where I could still give it a personalized touch, but yet bring in a team to support me. I would love to get into podcasts. I would love to get into a little bit broader of it. So that is my ultimate and long-term goal. My short term is to keep it the one man show right now and build it as strong as I can and build my trust in Wave of Wisdom and an audience. But I definitely would love to have a team by my side. Nothing huge, just enough to make a difference, just enough to know I'm still out there and I'm helping parents who really are vested in their kids. They really want to make a
Beautiful.
difference.
Yeah. Jody, let's dive even a little bit further into the short-term goals. Maybe if you think about the next 6 to 12 months. What would you say really are the biggest goals, targets, revenue, milestones that you have set for yourself?
I definitely want to get a launch with a group. I want to get on a live session, a 2, 3 day session. I want to choose a topic. I want to get an audience, and I haven't been able to do that yet. So I definitely want to set that up for the spring into the summer where it'll allow me more time. It'll allow me a larger audience, and it'll give me the time to focus on exactly what my audience is looking for from me. I want to be able to hit their needs. I don't want to just be out there talking about something that's not necessary or that's not what my audience wants. I want to hit their needs. So I feel like I'm going to focus my next 6 months doing that, researching a little of that, collecting some data, getting some emails, some team out and working on that, and getting some feedback from them to see what exactly they're looking for. I've been hitting communication and those skills and definitely focusing on keeping your calm. I created a digital workbook, a free one right now, just to get started. It's connection. It's called Connection Over Correction. And it's a free downloadable workbook. And it's focused on parents keeping calm. The second your teen slams the door, rolls their eyes at you, answers you back, immediately you want to jump back at them. So, this first workbook that I did put out is just keeping the calm. I'm really big about staying at the level. When your level rises, theirs is just going to go as high. You go higher, they're going higher. You bring it down, before you know it, kids are going to bring it down as well.
I like the structure that you're trying to build, and also it's quite obvious how much passionate you are about this. So now when you think about this kind of growth and really scaling this project in the future, Out of everything, what would you say is going to be the biggest bottleneck to make it happen, or maybe the biggest challenge?
I think freeing up time for me and having more of it is going to allow this to take off. I think I'm genuine. The way you're saying, I really am passionate about it. I feel like this is going to be slow and steady, consistent. So it's not going to happen overnight, just like changes in relationships don't happen overnight. So that's something I stress to my parents. And when I meet them, this isn't something that's going to happen overnight. You might be my client. We may work together ongoing for a year, a couple years. It might stop and we may reconnect. There's going to be periods throughout your relationship that are smooth, and there's going to be periods that are a little more difficult. And I'm there to support you through those. It's like any relationship. There's highs and lows, and life is a roller coaster. So I believe one of the most important relationships is with your child. I have a role model. My mom has ultimately been my role model my entire life. My mom is in her 80s. She lives 10 minutes away from me. I have an amazing relationship with her, and she's never judged me. She's never sat there and told me what to do. She just really listened. And
Mhm.
ultimately, that's what has brought me where I am. That has brought me to 30 years experience in education. And I really just want to share that for other people to have those relationships. I strive to have that with my daughter. I'm real. She's 21. Has there been ups and downs? Sure there is. Not life's not perfect and I'm far from perfect, but I try to keep the calm. We try to keep communication open. And I always think how my mother did things with me and how she showed up and what worked and what didn't work.
Yeah, I love that. Jody, I gotta say, after 30 years in education, 16 years of counseling and helping those parents and teenagers, I'm glad that you found the courage to take the next step, start a new chapter. It's very exciting though, so I'm definitely gonna be the biggest fan here. At this point, I'm gonna say thank you for taking the time today, sharing your story with me and with our audience. If anybody from the listeners would like to get in touch with you, perhaps even work with you, what is the best way to go about it?
I'm on YouTube, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook. There's a link in my bio. I have a website. You can sign up email for a free discovery call. You could DM me. There's multiple ways. I have a website you could check out. There's some different options and packages. I really suggest the very best thing is to set up a call and let's talk together. It's free. It's 15 to 20 minutes of someone's time, and I will make it work. I have slots during the day, at night, weekends. I'm really open and flexible to meeting your needs.
Love it. Thank you again for your time. It was a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you so much. Same here. Such a pleasure.
Absolutely. Now, to our listeners, if today's conversation inspired you as well, make sure to subscribe to Founders Future on your favorite platform. And also, if you're a business owner, more specifically a consultant or coach, or you have an agency and you're trying to scale the business and really enhance both your sales and marketing efforts, also visit closers.io, get in touch with our team, and discover how exactly we scaled our company from zero to over 30 million per year in less than 3 years. Until then, keep on climbing, and I'll see you on the next one.